Hey guys, Hong-Zhi here, and I have decided to draft against myself. So, for those of you who are not familiar, this is a classic draft. So what a classic draft entails is that instead of it being like two people going like, I'll take Mario, I'll take Luigi, and Pianta, and then snaking around like this, how it actually goes is that it's a 6-person drafting format. Everyone drafts a full team of 9 players, sometimes stadiums. I'm not going to do stadiums today. And basically you just like play like a Swiss 5-game series against everybody. And it's really fun. And it's really fun to do like the mock drafting for it too. I absolutely adore Classic Draft. There are trading rules that make it even better. And I thought it would be fun to draft against myself, show people what I prioritize when I do either mock drafts or actual classic drafts. And without further ado, let's get started. So I think the first 5 picks are pretty set in stone. I think the first 5 characters you should take are these 5 right here: Yoshi, Petey Piranha, Birdo, Boo, and Bowser. Why do I say that? Every other character in the game, even if they have some unique attributes, you can get most of what they do from someone else. These 5 characters are completely unique. There is not a single character who is like them in the rest of the game. Yoshi and Birdo have insane reach thanks to their suction and tongue. Birdo has a really good arm, making her a great shortstop, especially if you can snag a Shy Guy. Yoshi is insanely fast, making him a great left fielder. He can really play anywhere, though. Petey Piranha is an insane power hitter, but also the only character in the game with a throwing stat of 100. He is the best catcher by far. If you have them, you don't have to fear a single stolen base. And Bowser's Bowser. He's a home run slamming machine. He will absolutely wreck your shit if you are not prepared to stand up to him. So these are the top 5 characters I think you should be picking first in every draft. This isn't necessarily the order I prioritize them. I'd probably do something more along the lines of this. This is probably like, but this is like my personal preference. Like, if you want to take Birdo first and you think Yoshi's like the least valuable, that's entirely up to you. I like Yoshi the most because I really like his Star Swing. He fills captain niche, and he just has a really nice bat. I really like using him. Boo is also a pitcher. Pitchers are extremely scarce, so not only is he a really good batter, he's also, and the only pitcher in the game who's a really good batter. I think I brushed over Boo. But there's like very few pitchers, as you'll soon find out in round 2. Bowser and Petey are heavies, and then I'm not the biggest fan of Birdo, but she's better than everyone else by a not a pretty large margin, but I think she's just unique enough to where she should be taken above anyone else. So you might think picking 6 is a huge handicap because the top 5 players get such unique characters, but the fact that you get to take characters 6 and 7 is huge. Characters 6 and 7 are very good. For me personally, I like Donkey Kong and Hammer Bro. So Donkey Kong, insanely good shortstop, very good throwing arm. You're not going to have any chem partners for him, but it almost doesn't matter. And he has home run hitting potential. And Hammer Bro is an insane home run hitter. So you're doubling up on power, and these power hitters are very good. And with Donkey Kong, you're filling a very important fielding niche. So that's the first round over. Moving on to the second round, I'm going to start... Sorry, I'm losing my mind. Moving on to the second round, things kind of start to change. So at this point, you have to choose. Do I want elite pitching or do I want power? So the elite pitchers left, I'll put them all in the Ronji column here. The elite pitchers left are Diddy, Dixie, and Waluigi. That is it. Every other pitcher, be it Paragoomba, Paratroopa, Drybone, Shy Guy, Noki, they are massive steps down from these 4 characters right here. These 4 characters can pretty easily carry you the series. Every other pitcher in the game, you do not want that to be your only pitcher. As for power, the only things we really have left are King Boo and the Bros. So you might think that power's scarcer, but keep in mind, we've already taken 4 power hitters off the board, so most of the time, I'd say pitching is scarcer. So, which should you take? Should you go the power character route, or should you go the pitching route? I look at it this way. If I'm only taking 1 power, like say I take King Boo, or I guess most people would probably take Boomer, but I'll go King Boo just for example. If I take King Boo as my next pick on Birdo, my opponent can just choose to bean King Boo every single at-bat. They never have to fear pitching to King Boo and unleashing his insane slugging and home run power, because they can just bean him every single time, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. If I take a pitcher, on the other hand, I'd go Dixie. Dixie's my favorite. If I take a pitcher, on the other hand, I'm doubling up on my great defense, and I can play a more small ball-oriented team. And so, basically what I like to do is, for the heavies, I like to double up on my power, so they can't just bean my 1 power hitter and then go into the rest of my lineup. And for for the small ball captain started picks, Yoshi, Boo, Birdo, I like to double up on pitching. Or, I guess, I like to have elite pitching. You're not going to double up on pitching unless you're Boo. For Petey Piranha, you might think that Boomerang Bro's the pick. I like King Boo a lot more. King Boo has chemistry with Petey, great third baseman, great throwing arm, great power. Overall, great character. For Bowser, I'd take Boomerang Bro. The Bowser Bro chem is very famous. It's pretty much unstoppable unless all 3 of these players are like, okay, we're taking the Bros. And I don't think it benefits the Birdo drafter at all to do that. Of course, if Bowser's picked sooner, like first pick, it's a lot less likely he wheels the Bro, but semantics. You're doubling up on power. You're getting a chem-boosted Boomerang Bro as your follow-up at bat to Bowser. Just overall very, very strong. For Boo, I think Diddy is the better pitcher, just in a vacuum, but I'd go Waluigi. The reason is this. No matter what happens, I'm guaranteed to wheel a Magikoopa here. Magikoopa has chemistry with both Waluigi and Boo, and that can come in handy, you know? You make better fielding plays, stronger throwing arms, etc., etc. On top of that, Waluigi and Boo can switch back and forth between first base, and you can basically just mix up your pitcher if you feel like they're catching on to Boo too hard, or they're catching on to Waluigi too hard if you choose to start him. I think this is a very strong core. I think doubling up on pitching with Boo is absolutely the right move. And if you don't double up on pitching with Boo, you should... If Yoshi does not take both pitchers, which he probably should, you should take a pitcher as your third pick instead of your second. On to Yoshi. We're going to take the last elite pitcher. Again, there are no more elite pitchers in the game, and they're only on 3 teams. Donkey Kong-Ji, Pong-Ji, and Bong-Ji, they're going to have to find replacements, and the replacements they're going to have to use are a lot worse than these 4 characters. So, we're not quite done with round 2, but this is kind of what I consider round 2. What follows for the remaining L for the round 3 picks, I feel like they all kind of link together, even though this is technically a round 2 pick right here. So, we've already gotten out of the way all the power hitters except Fire Bro, who kind of debatable as to whether he even is a power hitter. And we've gotten rid of all of the elite pitchers and obviously top 5 characters. Where do we go from here? So the next best character is Magikoopa. Magikoopa is insanely good. But there are some teams that don't necessarily want a Magikoopa. So for starters, why do we want a Magikoopa? They're huge. Magikoopa is 11 meters tall. Like, he's like a colossus. His wand gives him ridiculous horizontal and vertical reach. And he has line drive, star swing. He has a great singles bat. Definitely a character you want to be picking up. And for Hong-Zhi right here, I'm actually going to go with Green Mage. Green Mage is my favorite just in standard play, but I think Green Mage is the best Magikoopa for Classic Draft because of the pitching. You just always want to have backup pitchers, no matter who you are. Like, even if you think, oh, I can just get by with one pitcher, you're probably not right. So I like having the extra pitching option just right off the bat. My next best is Blue. Blue Mage runs faster. That's literally all there is to it. Blue Mage is going to be better than Green Mage in most circumstances, but the circumstances that Green Mage is better, he's a lot better. So I just prefer Green Mage even in standard play. Bowser's also going to want a Mage. I think Yellow Mage is technically the next best, but as a comfort thing, I'd probably go Red. Yellow has a slightly worse power stat than the other three Magikoopas, so it's a slightly different batting style, and since Yellow is not really used in standard play, I just assume stick to Red Magikoopa, who is basically just Green Mage without the pitching and Blue Mage without the running, even though Yellow Mage is technically the stronger option. For Hong-Zhi, I'm actually going to do something a little weird. You might think, oh, well, we'll round out the Mages, we'll take Yellow Mage, close out that little chain. I actually don't think that's the right pick here. Remember, Hong-Zhi is going to need to get pitching. And the pitchers that are around are not as good. You're going to need 2, maybe even 3, to really stand up to the rest of the meta. Because if they catch on to your bad pitcher and you don't have another bad pitcher that you can throw on, you're screwed. They're going to eat you alive no matter what their batting lineup is. So here I'd take Green Noki. Green Noki is sliding catch, so she can actually play middle infield quite well if you need her to. She has Pianta chemistry. We're hoping to wheel one of the Piantas, which is pretty likely, and put her at first base by default so that you can get a shortstop to first base chem link, which is very powerful for obvious reasons. And she has line drive star swing. Overall, I'd say she's the next best pitcher alongside Paratroopa, Green Paratroopa, that we haven't taken thus far. For Birdo, we don't really care as much about pitching. We don't need to prioritize too much. We're just going to take the last Mage. So Hong-Zhi is going to follow in Hong-Zhi's example. He's going to take Green Paratroopa. Green Paratroopa is the next best pitcher alongside Green Noki. Great star swing, pretty solid fielding, amazing windup. You can throw him in left field and he'll just zip the ball to the infield very fast. He has some okay chemistry partners if we can wheel them, but we probably won't. But most importantly, he pitches, and we need pitchers. Continuing on, I have Pianta next. I think Pianta's the next best follow-up here. Middle infield's pretty hard to fit. And we already have Donkey Kong for middle infield utility, but having Pianta as a backup doesn't hurt at all. We can hope to wheel like Blue Noki, throw Blue Noki on first with Pianta on shortstop, and get like a nice chemistry throw there. We can throw him at second base with Donkey Kong at shortstop. There's a lot we can do with Pianta. He's a very strong character, and definitely one you shouldn't pass up. This isn't necessarily what you might want to do, but it's just what I feel is the best follow-up given what we've taken so far. And if someone ends up without a really strong middle infield, we don't care as much about losing Pianta because we have Donkey Kong to fill his role. Moving on with Hong-Zhi over here, we're going to take Toadsworth. Toadsworth is basically just easy mode batting. I'm very comfortable with his bat. Everyone else is very comfortable with his bat. And even if you're not comfortable with his bat, he has line drive. So he's at worst as good as a solid star swinger. He doesn't do anything in the field, but we already have a pretty stacked field as is with an elite pitcher, a great shortstop, and a great third base. So we did wheel a Pianta. Blue is better than yellow. Yellow, I think, pitches slightly better, but you never want to throw them on the mound. Blue just runs faster. So, Blue Blob. So, Hong-Zhi has a middle infield. Hong-Zhi has a middle infield. Hong-Zhi has a middle infield. Donkey Kong-Zhi and Ronji don't have middle infields, and there's not a lot left. Bowser can sort of play shortstop. I've seen some people who are pretty big Bowser shortstop aficionados, and we might actually end up playing that here, but we're going to want something else to go with it. So, out of the characters left, the only real quote-unquote elite middle infielders are Daisy and Wario. Wario is a massive fat ass who just catches everything. While Daisy is pretty much just a worse Wario, except for the fact that she has a lot better pitching. And it's for that reason that I'm taking Daisy over Wario. I really think that pitching niche is very important. We don't have a single pitcher on Donkey Kong-ji's team over here. And so just being able to secure that middle infield slot who can play pitcher if we really need her to is invaluable in my mind. So, again, Ronji doesn't really have the middle infield, and Wario fits perfectly on this team. Chemistry with Waluigi, chemistry with Boo. We're throwing Waluigi and Boo on first base, so we can throw Wario at shortstop, and he'll have that chemistry throw, and it's nuts. He'll just zip the ball to first base, pretty much get out anyone who's hoping to just outspeed their way to a single. And sorry if you hear that in the background, by the way. Just a very, very strong character overall. So we've gotten a Hong-Zhi here. Hong-Zhi also doesn't really have a middle infielder, but there's Pianta still left. I forgot about Pianta. I was just assuming Daisy and Wario because I think they're the next best ilk. You could do something like this, but I just think the pitching here is too powerful, and you don't want to pass Wario here, really. You might even want to take Wario here just for sake of Magikoopa, but don't do that. I think Magikoopa's worth. So we have our middle infield locked down, we have a third base, we have a left field, and we have a pitcher. At this point, we've stopped really concerning ourselves with fielders. Every character we've taken so far is a pretty good batsman and a pretty good fielder. From now on, it's you are a good batsman or you are a good fielder. There is no compromise. So, of the characters remaining, I think Fire Bro is the best batter left. He has actually a very high charge power stat. His charge power is actually higher than Hammer Bro's. What holds him back is he's low mid trajectory, or he just has an awful trajectory that does not do him any favors for home run hitting. Very, very weak. But by the same token, he's still a power hitter, and unlike someone like Boomerang Bro or King Boo, your opponent won't bean him, so because most people just don't think very much of Fire Bro. So I think he's a good round off here. He also plays catcher, which we don't have so far. Moving on to Ronji's team here. I kind of lied when I said everyone is either a good batsman or a good fielder, because there's one who's kind of both, and that's Red Noki. So the reason why Green Noki goes so much sooner than Red Noki, even though on the surface they're very similar characters, is that Green Noki is an insanely good pitcher, and comparable pitching stats to Waluigi, to give you an idea. Compared to the Big Four, I mean. She's not, compared to people who aren't the Big Four. Compared to the Big Four, she's not insanely good. No, Red Noki's average pitcher. She can kind of play the position, but you're losing out. But every other fielding niche that Noki brings to the table, middle infield utility, outfield utility, Pianta chemistry, not that we're going to have that. Red Noki just brings it to the table. Absolutely should be taking Red Noki here 100% of the time. So moving on, I'm going to take another character who it's really just for the fielding niche here, and it's going to be Green Dry Bones. So, or not for the batting niche. So, Green Dry Bones is line drive star swing, which is a very good star swing. His fielding is less than stellar. We can force him at second base if we really need to, but he's probably going to be playing center field. But, and this is the important part, Dry Bones are really not awful on the mound, and I'll tell you why. They have an OX2 stat of 90. Most characters have an OX2 stat of 50, but Dry Bones has an OX2 stat of 90. What does that mean? It means that every hit done off of a Dry Bones pitch is 8% weaker. This means we can put him in on the pitching mound, and even though he's not curving the ball very much, he will actually do something, and it's not even that bad. So, I like him. He's a very good batter, and he can kind of sort of play pitcher. He's not the best. I think there's several other potential pitchers that are better than Green Dry Bones, but he gets the job done, and really that's all that matters. So moving on, You might notice that Hong-Zhi at this point is kind of strapped for potential team captains. The only team captains left are Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Bowser Jr., all of whom are really not that good. And theoretically speaking, the next 4 picks could just be them, and Hong-Zhi can't play the game without a trade, and you have to trade something really powerful to get them. So at this point, I would say, okay, I just got to take a captain. And all the captains remaining are not great, but Mario and Luigi are a lot better than Peach and Bowser Jr. Peach and Bowser Jr. are terrible characters. Between the two, it really comes down to personal preference. I like Luigi a little more because I think I like Green Fireball as a Star Swing. It's not bad. And he runs faster, so he's just better at getting on base. But Mario's just as solid if you prefer his bat. For this draft, I'll actually do Mario because if I take Luigi, I have anti with King Boo, and that's never nice. So moving on, something I mentioned earlier with Birdo is that she's going to be our shortstop, and if we throw a Shy Guy on first base, we'll get that chemistry throw. It's very strong. This is around the time we start taking Shy Guys. So, of the Shy Guys, blue, yellow, and green do not have the Pop Fly Star Swing. Red and black do have the Pop Fly Star Swing. Green has a bit of a niche in and of himself. He's the best pitcher of the Shy Guys, but red and black are the ones who we're getting our batting talent in. And we're reaching the point where we're a bit strapped for good hitters left. Most of the remaining characters are not too great behind the plate. Between red and black Shy Guy, it really doesn't matter. Red Shy Guy is like slightly stronger at hitting. Black Shy Guy, I think, has a stronger throwing arm or something. I don't really remember. I'm just going to take red. Red is cool, and I don't know, maybe the extra batting power will come up. Who cares? For Hong-Zhi, I'm going to kind of follow in the footsteps of Hong-Zhi, just take a Shy Guy. Like I said, Pop Fly Star Swing, very good. And he's a solid hitter, just generally. And following that up, I'm going to take Luigi. Luigi is he's a filler character. He has an okay Star Swing in Green Fireball. He gives us wall jump utility, but you don't need wall jump utility. Let you know a little secret. Just a solid batter, not the best. You could even probably delay him further. Mario and Luigi are very good in standard play, but they drop off pretty hard in this meta. So moving on to Birdo. I'm actually going to take Green Shy Guy. Just another pitching option if I feel like Dixie's not really getting the job done. Deprives Hong-Zhi, Bong-Zhi, and Donkey Kong-Zhi of getting another pitching option if they need it. He can relieve if I need him to, which is nice. And his fielding isn't even that bad. He's like 4 speed, and he'll get the job done. Don't worry. Moving on to Hong-Zhi, I'm going to take Red Bones. Red Bones is kind of like Dry Bones. He doesn't really have a fielding niche, but he has a good Star Swing in Pop Fly. And he does have that 8% weaker batting power if you throw him on the mound. I don't think the Dry Bones are the best pitchers in the world, but every pitching option matters. Even Red Dry Bones. The reason why we go Green Dry Bones over Red Dry Bones, by the way, is that Red Dry Bones actually has a faster curveball speed than Green Dry Bones. And that means he can curve the ball less, so green is better on the mound. On to Donkey Kong-Zhi, we're going to take Red Koopa. I hate Koopa. I cannot use his bat for anything, but he is Pop Fly Star Swing, which means he can get on base with a star. And, it's not like taking someone like Green Toad is going to make us bat any better. Moving on to Ronji, we're actually going to... You might notice, we have almost our entire infield kind of filled. We got a pitcher, we got third base, we throw Noki at second, we got Wario at short, Waluigi at first, but we don't have a catcher, and catcher options are going to get a little deprived soon. So, of the remaining characters, I'd say Purple Toad is the best pick, just given this team. Purple Toad has a stronger arm than Red Toad, in exchange for a shorter bat length and slower speed. But it's going from 6 speed to 5 speed, which is not a very big deal. and that stronger throwing arm is very big. It's like going from 60 to 70, which is the same as like going from, I think, Mario's throwing arm to Wario's. So it's the difference between being able to catch steals and not being able to catch steals. You won't catch Yoshi or Toadette, but you'll catch everything else, especially considering you have Blue Pitcher. Rounding out the Star Swing era, I guess that's what we'll call this, of characters, which kind of just fill out rounds 5 and 6. We have Red Toad. He's the last good Star Swing user. He has Popfly. And that's pretty much all you need to know about him. He's a Popfly user. The bottom 3 rounds, rounds 7, 8, and 9, are filled with characters who are pretty bad. The niches they fill are not nearly as huge as the niches of characters before them, and they don't really have any good, like, stars or bats or anything. At this point, we're basically just taking characters that we feel comfortable with, or we think fit our team pretty well. So, starting off for Hong-Zhi here, I'm actually going to take Toadette. The reason for this is Toadette has 9 speed. I love the 9 speed. And we can actually put her in front of Toad. And assuming we wheel one of the other colored Toads, which is not uncommon, we can actually set up a pretty strong Toadette bat, provided we could get Toadette and one of the other colored Toads on base. So I like Toadette here. She's not a great character. She doesn't really add anything to the table other than 9 speed lets you get a few steals. But yeah, she's a very good character, given what is left. Moving on to Ronji here, there's not a lot of good stuff left, if I'm being honest. I think at this point I might take Glue Toad, kind of with the same philosophy with the Toadette pick, where I can set up a stronger purple Toadette bat, maybe go for home run hitting, especially considering how weak our power is. And what else am I taking? There's not really anything else good. For Donkey Kong-Ji, I'm going to take Paragoomba. I love Paragoomba's bat. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. And he's a really good pitcher. His curve stats comparable to Paratroopa and Noki. Actually, on second thought, I'm actually not going to take Paragoomba here. I'm actually going to take Paratroopa here. And the reason for that is because Paragoomba does not have chem with Bowser and Koopa. Paratroopa does. And Paratroopa has the best curve stat of any non-Elite Four pitcher. So this pretty much solves our pitching crisis. We can spend the rest of our picks on characters who we think bat better. And, you know, if Paratroopa doesn't work out, we got Daisy, we got Green Bones. We have options in case we feel we need a better pitching option. On the same note, this is where I'm going to take Paragoomba. We're not going to have any chem partners with Paragoomba on this team, at least in all likelihood, but I'm very comfortable with his bat, and it frees up our Noki to play first base. We can have Paragoomba start. And assuming we can wheel a respectable enough pitcher, we'll have enough options. Like, Dry Bones can kind of sort of do the job. Noki definitely can do the job. Paragoomba's great at the job. And keep in mind, we want to have multiple pitching options because we do not have elite pitching. We need to make sure that if they adjust to our pitcher, we have it out immediately. Moving on to Dongji here. I think I'm going to continue the Shy Guy train. Keep in mind, for every Shy Guy that we pick, all the Shy Guys have chemistry with each other. So we're making pretty much every other Shy Guy stronger for each Shy Guy we pick. And we're also making Birdo better because Birdo has chemistry with all of them. Blue Shy Guy is better than Yellow Shy Guy because he runs faster. That's pretty much all there is to it. So a long time ago when we picked Pink Menace, I was saying we're hoping to wheel Blue Noki so we can throw her on first base, do Pink Menace shortstop, Blue Noki first, and that's where we're going to take her. It's a great chemistry pair. We can really punish someone like Toadette or Paragoomba hitting a weak dribbler to shortstop, whereas someone who didn't have a chemistry-linked shortstop first base combo might not be able to do that. I don't think anyone here is going to have that problem, unfortunately, but we were the last ones to really resolve it. And these last few characters are very bad. There is not really anything redeeming to them. I guess we need a backup pitcher. And of the backup pitchers, I guess Goomba's the best. I don't really know. Goomba or Dry Bones. I guess we'll go Dry Bones. Dry Bones has the added benefit of a pretty strong throwing arm, Blue Bones. He's 70, like Paratroopa and Purple Toad. So you can throw him at catcher, and he'll just get the job done. And backup pitcher option in case Paratroopa doesn't work out. So I think it's a pretty solid pick at this point. Rounding out our Shy Guy squad, we're going to get Yellow Guy. 4 Shy Guys and Birdo is very strong. This is a huge chem block that we've assembled. And the rest of our fillers aren't that bad. For our last character, it's not really going to matter. Probably just going to be a junk character, but this is a pretty strong core for what you can expect out of a Birdo team. For PD, I'm probably going to go Goomba here. We can throw Goomba on the mound. He does a good job. We can throw Paragoomba in the outfield, where he also does a good job. And Goomba pitcher, it's a bit of a meme, but it's not bad. He gets the job done. Moving on to Donkey Kong-Ji, we're going to take Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr., not the best character in the world, but this is something that someone pointed out in the Discord. You can have him bat 9th, then lead off Bowser, second at bat Hammer Bro, and if Bowser Jr. gets on base, you have either a chem boosted Bowser at bat or double chem boosted Boomerang Bro at bat, and both of those can be absolutely devastating. I think Koopa kind of does the job better, but we're building a very Bowser-oriented block. Of all the characters on our team, only Madge and Daisy don't have chem with him. And Madge links with Bowser Jr. too, by the way. So I think Bowser Jr. is a solid enough option, given what our team looks like. For Ronji here, we're going to take Green Toad. Again, we're just bolstering our Purple Toad at bat. We want to make sure Purple Toad has a strong charge swing if we can get both of our Toads on base. It's like a 25% boosted power. Pretty solid. And rounding out the Toad Brigade, we got Yellow Toad as the last Toad picked. Again, we just want to make Red Toad stronger, and he does exactly that. So we have 8 characters. What are we lacking? We have a catcher, we have a pitcher, we have a left fielder, we have a third baseman, we have a shortstop, we have probably a right fielder, and then these 2 are playing junk positions. We need a second base option, and of these options, I'd say Dry Bones is the best second base. Takes away a pitching option from other players, and he has a pretty solid dive. He's sliding catch, which gives him a bit more horizontal reach, and auto lock on the ball when diving. And overall, this is how the Yoshi team turns out. I really hate picking first. First pick, it just feels like you're getting the scraps of what everyone else is taking, but I'd say this turned out really good for a first pick team. You've got a nice infield setup. You've got Madge. You got a really good pitcher. You got a really good captain. You got Fire Bro. It's not bad. Could be a lot worse. Moving on to Ronji. These bottom 5 characters are very bad. They don't do much. I'm basically just gonna take them in the order I think their bats work. So I think Monty is the best bat. He has the longest bat reach. Followed by Baby Mario. I'm actually going to take Baby Mario over Koopa here, even though Koopa kind of fits the chem core, because I hate Koopa's bat. I just personally would never take him. Baby Luigi is the next best character here. At the very least, he can bunt and get on base occasionally. Peach, very bad character, but again, like, the alternative's Koopa, and then last pick's Koopa. So this is how I'm going to just delete this row. This is how I would personally do a classic draft. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any disagreements, please let me know in the comments. I love this format, and I'd like to learn more from people who might be more experienced or might have their own opinions. And overall, it's very fun to just throw together one of these draft lists and show off my own personal preferences when it comes to the game, especially with like lower-ish tier characters like Blue Toad and Goomba. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.